this meeting to order. I thought Vicki had a good suggestion yesterday. Let's just have a special board meeting so that everybody understands what's going on with all of the issues. And I could go through this. I think just the highlight of this, and I don't want to go through a lot of it. Tim, then I want you to really address most of it.
Okay.
But what prompted this is on January 7th, the county board passed a resolution permitting the 66-foot easement. I copied everyone and sent it on to everyone, so you had copied, asking Vicki to inform the county of what else they needed to do to meet the conditions of the motions that were made. And those were basically a map that we wanted, something showing the 66-foot easement, the letter from the Corp Council regarding the fact that it was in the St. Croix Riverway, and a note from Sarah Burrell saying that all of the issues in the TRT letter were complied with. There's nothing wrong with being sick. I just want to pass this on as to whether there might be a misunderstanding amongst the board members. But last week, when Vicki was out sick, I sent a note to her just saying that, I'll read it to you. I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. I want to let you know that Ellen Denzer called me late yesterday, and we'll have the map and an updated Sarah Burrell note that the information in the TRT letter has been complied with. Friends, we already have the Corp Council letter, which was emailed to us on 1/17. Because the county needs to close on this property in January, I told Ellen with the 2 additional items noted above that I will be ready to sign this CSM so it can get recorded before the closing. As soon as I hear more, I will drop you a note. With you being out sick, I wanted to make sure that you and I see the information to be provided at the same time. Also, I'm not sure if we need the town agenda sent out this week, but if we do, just send me a draft and we can work on that together as well. Thanks, Don J. I knew Vicki was sick. The county called me again. I said, I'm not going to sign anything until Vicki's back, which was 10 o'clock on Monday. I said, I know you're under extreme time pressures. And Vicki came in on Friday. I wasn't aware of it. Tim was aware of it. And so we've gone through all of these issues. And with that, Tim, maybe you'd like to fill them in.
So what happened was Don got in a 3-way conversation with John Sontag and Don and I. And I said, the concern I have is the CSM map that you dropped off with Vicki on Friday shows a 33-foot easement, not a 66-foot easement. I said, it says per the contract with the county, which in your packet is this, okay? So John brought that out, we had to go to the county and get it, brought it out on Monday morning at 10 o'clock, and all it was because at that point I thought we were done. Because we had Ellen's letter emailed to Don that said everything was resolved. And I said to you, there's a couple of things that concern me, and that I really haven't seen a TRT letter from Sarah, and I don't trust Ellen. And I said, but I'll have to assume she's correct, and so yeah, Don, go ahead and sign it, you know what I mean, because it looked like everything was done. Well, it turns out not everything was done. So, you know, and that concerns me. So, he signed it then, but because we thought everything was correct. He signed it that day, and then yesterday, Vicki reviewed everything and realized that, and on the TRT letter of October 11th, number 4 says, provide a copy of the easement joint driveway agreement that identifies the involved parties and terms of the conditions and agreements. And I said to Don on Friday when he and I were talking before we got John Sontag, and I said, the only other thing was we wanted to make sure that Gary was part and parcel of maintaining River Heights Trail and being a cost-sharing member of that since he's going to use it. And Don's comment to me was, well, it isn't part of our motion. So if you read our motion, which Vicki gave you a copy of our minutes, it's not in there. Well, it was part of the discussions that we had in earlier months.
For what?
for Gary having to share with the driveway,
The maintenance agreement.
the maintenance.
Well, it's part of this,
But-
that's why it's
but
not
at
part of
the-
that.
Right, but I didn't have this at that time, but I asked Gary specifically on Monday while we were chatting, did you, since it wasn't part of our motion, do you have an agreement with the people on River Heights Trail? He said, yes, he is, he will take care of that. And so I said, okay, so as long as I knew that was done, I was okay that Don signed it. But it wasn't a board meeting, all it was to meet out here and have them bring this along that said that there was a 66-foot easement. And remember, we discussed the 66-foot easement. The map doesn't necessarily show, we told Ellen we didn't care where it went as blacktop, because Gary brought up that the Paters really didn't want it blacktop. There's never in the motion, it says you gotta come back in 18 months if you don't want it black. So we had all those discussions, and I figured it was a done deal, only to find out, in here it says that Gary was supposed to get a hard copy of that. So Don was gonna call Gary yesterday and get a hard copy of that, and let us know. Did Gary get back to you?
He's in the process of getting that.
Okay, okay.
And then you were going to.
So as a consequence-
The second part?
As a consequence, there wasn't a meeting, and I don't mind that we're having a meeting. All that was I came along so that I was confident that John had that. So we shouldn't get so excited, we shouldn't get attorneys here, Ken, every time we turn around. You know what I mean?
Do we have a copy of the joint driveway agreement?
No, not yet, that was just what he said.
Where?
So he should, so Don,
So that was
just a minute.
That was a condition.
Just a minute, it was on this, but I didn't have that in front of me. Vicky found this later, so I told Don Simpson,
Well,
he
that's,
needs to have Vicky do her job, and let her do her job, and not. and
I did do my job.
I know, but he went ahead and scheduled the signing of this, because he thought everything was complete.
And I said on Friday it wasn't.
Well, but
But you
he
didn't say
didn't
that
talk
to
to
me.
you, but he didn't talk to you on Friday. So,
I sent out emails, and there was hundreds of them. I mean, I was here
Yeah.
for 5 hours on Friday.
I understand all of that.
Okay, wait a minute.
But we're not into it throwing rocks.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I'm trying to do my job too.
Yes,
so
I get that.
Vicky,
I get that. So in the future, and Don has already told Gary that that shouldn't be recorded yet until we've got everything complete. So now that we know that we need this to comply, and that's what I told Gary and John on Monday. I said, you know, the whole thing with this with Ellen is I don't trust her. And I wanted to see this letter that said everything was complete from Sarah or Tammy. And I told them that, because they said, I just don't trust her. And so it wasn't complete. But they assumed, and Ellen assumed it was because Ellen told them it was okay. I'm sorry.
Well,
had a
I
hard
said it
time
wasn't
working for
complete
Ellen.
because this that Ellen sent saying it's complete only meant for the notes and the symbols that he upgraded the CSM because the symbols were out of place when he added the notes, so here's the corrections. And so, because Sarah's like, hey, your stuff isn't working.
Complete is complete. This is from November 5th of last year. It's the end of January.
I know.
I'm sorry, but if you can't get your items done in a reasonable amount of time,
Ellen wasn't allowed to let them work on
well, then that's not my problem.
it. No, it
But
isn't. But
here's the
but
deal.
Ellen
It's
kept
all-
saying it was done.
But here's the deal, and look at it from my point of view, is I'm supposed to be like emails and informative thing for me. I'm not supposed to be responding, and we're supposed to be careful with it all. But then all of a sudden on all this, we're getting hammered with documents on email. And I'm reading this document, and then I'm reading this email, then I'm reading this email, and I'm reading this email. And I'm sitting here like, what in the heck? And then all of a sudden, it comes that you guys met up and signed it. And I'm sitting here like, I mean, it's a lot of information to take in. I'm not an attorney, I'm not an engineer. To be honest with you, I don't understand it all. I know what was required, but do I know that that stuff is actually legally written in all these documents? No. This is where I came up with the attorney. The attorney wasn't to sort out what you guys did. I don't care about that. I would have appreciated input on it within our town board meeting if time had allowed that. Maybe it didn't allow that because of the deadline. But it would have been great to have been included because there was so much documentation, so that we could meet together and sit down and go over one by one, is this satisfied, is this satisfied, is that satisfied, is that satisfied? And that didn't happen, and now I am like, so just over all these documents and that I don't even want to look at it anymore. I would prefer that the town attorney sit down, review all these documents, make sure everything is in place. That's what I'm requesting that. That's a formal request from me.
That's, well, you won't even get to the floor. You won't get a second.
Then who's
But Mike,
the
hold
professional?
Hold it.
Hang on 1 second.
Wait.
Can I talk for a second?
No, okay, 1 second, but then we're not gonna have another 3-hour
Who is the
deal.
professional here? Who is
That one.
Who's got the?
No, I'm not.
You're verifying that everything is.
And I'm telling you it's not.
And I'm not an attorney, you're not an attorney, you're not an attorney. I'm not
That's
mad.
Wait,
An attorney's not gonna be able to tell you that either, Ken.
wait.
He's
No,
not
no,
gonna be able
no,
to.
no. Okay,
He's not.
we're gonna start over.
That's where I stand with the attorney.
We're gonna start over. This is not something new that came at us out of the blue. We've known about this since last May. The motion was made in November as to what we needed to do. I sent and have been totally transparent with the board and copied everybody on this. Hey, what else do we need to have the county do in order to be in compliance? You have copies of all of that.
Yes, we do.
The clerk knew, Tim knew, it was implied in all of these emails, hey, this has to be closed. What do we need to do so I can sign this? It's the 29th of January. This is not new that the town chair signs these documents.
Jeff used to sign stuff all the time.
And
Once
they-
Vicky verified
and they did not
everything.
go
We
back
did
to
never,
the
really
Can I-
never
can
comes
I
back.
finally speak?
It never
I've
comes
been
back.
patient.
Well, and I feel like you're asking me, can I answer really quick? Was it so much, I know I know it was approved with contingencies, and I know you have the authority to sign that after that. But with all the information, what a big deal this is on that river frontage, and just, it's a lot to take in. Could we have not all sat down and looked at it? I would have came in for a special meeting for that and been fine, and been like, okay, well, let's look at it. And maybe you could have convinced me on some of this stuff, but at this point, there's so much to it that
But
A lot of them have that much.
it just would have been to have the courtesy to ask the whole board instead of just you guys. And
it
And I know
wasn't
that-
just us guys.
No.
It was, and I put that in my email. Hey, this eventually has to be signed. What else do we need to do to provide this in terms of conditioning this? Every time I open up my email, these conditions have been met. I wish that I had been called on Friday. I had no way to get a hold of the clerk.
I wasn't supposed to be here on Friday to do this work. I stayed here because,
Well, you weren't, well, let's talk about authorization. You were authorized to call John Sonnentag and have him come out here. I set that up for Monday.
what?
There's no authorization.
I don't need to authorize anything. You sent out an email on Wednesday saying, oh, we have all the documents, so I like them looking at it. I don't have all the documents, so I called John to get it. I mean, I honestly,
And this is why I didn't want to schedule this meeting. Tim, you knew about the meeting with John Sonnentag?
after
And
the
it
fact.
really wasn't a meeting, it was, you were gonna sit down with John and sign the plat that, I only came to verify
But I'm saying
that
on
that's-
Friday.
on Friday, that 66-foot easement, and he didn't bring it with him till then.
Can I
He didn't
talk?
have it.
Yes.
You guys are all saying the same thing. Sorry. 3 times I've heard Vicky say we don't have everything. I don't know what we don't have. I want Vicky to let us know if we don't have everything, and that's what she's saying, which that is her job, to make sure that we have everything, which is why she should call whoever she needs to call to get it, especially if we're on a time frame or a deadline. Can, Vicki, what don't we have?
Well, we still don't have the copy of the easement joint driveway agreement. The CSM conditions are not met yet.
What conditions
So
are
this-
met?
Well, the copy of the joint driveway easement, I don't know. The map identifying soil test location needs to be provided. I don't know, but from my perspective, and this is where Sarah sent this email that Ellen's saying it's complete, this does not pertain to this.
No, it doesn't. That's what I told Don and Gary and John on Monday. It's that, it makes me nervous, because Ellen's not letting him work on it, and.
So where is the miscommunication if Vicki said it wasn't complete to where we thought it was complete?
The miscommunication from my perspective is, I got a call from Tim on Friday saying that John Sonente had met with Vicki. And that,
I didn't meet with him. I mean, he came out, dropped off some CSMs, said, "Do you need anything else?" And I said, "Well, do you not have a map showing the 66-foot easement out to River Heights Trail?" And he's like, "Well, no, I mean, there's that other map, but that's not filed with this." And I'm like, "Well, where's the 66-foot easement?"
And we still don't, because this isn't an official map.
Correct, we don't. So then supposedly, then that's what came in on Monday and during the meeting or whatever. I was just like, whatever, I don't have anything. That's why I just said, whatever, I don't have this. I sent out the email and I tried to get my stuff done, and I had to be here on Friday by state law. So just so you guys know, when it's election cycle, I am required by state law to be in the office. All right? So I will be in the office from now till pretty much the end of the year, since we have 5 elections this year, just so you know. I'm just following, so I was just trying to be decent to get the information together so you had it, since I found out there was a meeting at 10 a.m. on Monday from John. But apparently I shouldn't have done that.
And when I talked to John and Don on, first I talked to you, and that's when I called Don. And you said it doesn't have the 66-foot easement. So I called Don and he said, "Let me see if I can get John Sonateg on the phone." We had that 3-way conversation. John said he didn't have that information. It was something he had to get from the county. So he would get it and have it for us Monday morning. So Don says, "Are you gonna be there?" I said, "I can come over Monday morning at 10 to make sure it's there." And at that point, that's all we thought we were missing. And I told
That's right.
both Gary and John in that meeting,
that's right.
Ellen made me nervous because she said everything was complete, and I didn't know if it was or
You can't
not.
trust Ellen.
I know, and that's
Everyone
what
should
I
just know
said.
that.
And so, when,
But I
then
signed-
after
I
Vicki
signed
went
CSL.
through it, and then after we went through it, Vicki found that, no, that's not there.
Well, because
And
everybody
Barry
kept
said it
saying
was
that this letter, this email that Ellen sent to Don, that Don sent to me, that I had to send to everybody, you know, I didn't have time to,
I would
I
sign.
mean, I don't speak legalese, I'm not an engineer, I'm just trying to check off the boxes, I'm trying to read through months of minutes, making sure, Mary's asked for this easement joint driveway agreement for 6 months.
I wouldn't sign on anything that I wasn't sure was 100% complete.
Yes, you would.
No,
If
I
you,
wouldn't.
no,
I
Ken,
would not,
Ken.
'cause
but
my
she-
name is on that.
But Ken, you weren't the chair, and there, and I don't get why the county is all of a sudden changing this to a last-minute deal in January, because if my memory serves me
It
correct,
was the end of the year.
it was the end of the year is
It
absolutely
was.
correct,
And you can extend deals.
right?
I
So
mean, I do it all the
don't-
time.
So why, it was a rush to get to the end of the month, but they were pressuring Don. You know, I get it, you know what I mean, and if he assumes everything is accurate and everything is there, he signed it.
But that's the problem, is that you can't just make assumptions on this stuff. This is stuff that's gonna be permanent.
Well, Ellen has taught me a lesson, and that you're absolutely correct, we will never trust her again.
I didn't trust her already.
And I didn't before,
I told you guys
it's
that.
gotten worse.
So we still don't have items that we were supposed to have.
Well,
That's fine.
let's talk about the items.
Hold on a second, I've been very patient, I'm not blaming anyone, the sign has been done. My question is, we don't have the items that have been requested still, and Vicky's right, I'm sure every minute for the last 6 months, every minute that's been taken for the last 6 months shows that I've been asking for certain things that we don't have. The only question I have is, Don already signed it, so my understanding is, even if Don wanted to take back his signature, he can't, it's done.
Well, you've asked them not to record it.
It's been recorded.
Has it been
It has been
recorded already?
recorded,
Of course it was gonna be recorded, that Dave was recorded faster than anything on earth.
I recorded by 11 o'clock.
yeah. I'm not sure
Well, but and it had to be signed by the village.
Well, then there shouldn't be any building permits issued until this is cleared up.
I
Well,
Period.
it won't be,
I,
because it's coming back to our board
It
before
has-
there
it
can
has
be
to
any
come back
building
to our
permits.
board.
Gary brought that up, and the reason for it, it's on the water rights, and so we gotta have a variance to get a building permit to be built on the river. And so it should be a 10-minute conversation at max when he comes back. It's not like any other place, it's because it's on the river.
That's not coming back to the town board, that's going to the Board of Adjustment.
And Gary said he's gotta come back here.
So, is the
For
DNR,
variance.
So let's-
DNR sign off
We don't
on
do
this?
variances, the Board of Adjustment
I
does.
don't remember.
Oh, it goes.
Right, so it's not coming back to the town board.
Okay.
but let's,
Well, how would you tie all that onto that anyway? You can't hold up a building of a property because of this, no?
well, and at some point, I'm just saying this
I
as
don't
the,
think it-
I'm just saying this as the chair, which is why I kept asking for these. I think a different issue might be, no, we don't have our own surveyor, we don't have our own engineer, we don't have our own whatever. We're all here trying to do our best. I'm not even saying this defensively. I kept trying to inform the board and narrow the scope as to what was needed to provide this. I personally don't think this is that material for an agreement to plow the driveway with the other 7 people. That's my personal opinion. And we talked about that at length in those meetings, that yes, Gary was going to be the 7th person or whatever. Whatever the number is, there's 6 homes out there now. And he was going to be party to that agreement, which is a private agreement. It's not anything.
It's not a private agreement.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's on public record.
No.
Those agreements go on public record.
But it's not something that governments get
But
involved
we're
in.
not,
Oh, of
we're
course,
not
no, the
party, we're not.
government, you know how many times government gets involved in crap we shouldn't get involved in?
Right. we're not-
I'm trying to narrow this discussion. My point is that in the world of material issues, no, I wasn't aware that that wasn't filed, or that wasn't part of this. At some point, as a public official, I have to take other public officials at their word. And the court counsel said, this is this document, and the court counsel said, this is this document. The note was that Sarah Burrell approved all those items. There was nothing subtle about the emails that Vicki sent to the county saying, these are the things we need, that they signed off on all of this. There's a second part of this that was brought up to me yesterday, that we haven't collected the $700 for the CSM review and the $60 for the fire number. We're not perfect people here in our town government either. I don't know why that wasn't collected. I know
Because it's not part of the motion. You guys didn't even fill out the form for a CSM form.
then I'm saying we're not perfect either.
No, I think.
But we
didn't
can't
do that
just keep
because-
doing wrong,
I think we
wrong.
didn't do it because I think we thought it was all coming back one more time and
Correct.
you
I
would
did.
finalize.
I did.
It says that it's coming back.
It doesn't say that.
We had,
No, it doesn't.
No. Here's my concern, this is why I wanted to have a discussion today. This is the only one that I'm aware of. I mean, if it, from Mike Hartman to Dick Stout to you name it, there's going, well, I'll tell you the one over there by the Girl Scout camp is going to have many issues with it. But we do not, as a matter of course, bring that back once these motions are made. And it says, you comply with these, we sign off on the CSM, and I'm the designated person to sign the CSM. I did talk to our attorney. You know, at some point, I can't keep saying, no, I won't sign it, no, I won't sign it, no, I won't sign it. You know, at some point, it's gonna be, why won't you sign it? Because we've met what you've sent, the town has sent, saying that this is what we need for compliance.
I never told them that they sent everything they needed, so I don't know who's in charge of
Don,
telling them, but
I'm not saying that you don't have the right to sign this stuff. That is your job. Okay, I get that, and that wasn't, obviously, these things have to get signed by you. The only thing I'm concerned about is that we don't have everything that they were supposed to give us to get signed. Right, wrong, or indifferent, if that's the case, and if it was missed, it was missed. But I'm not gonna just say, oh, we forgot to charge them for this, so, you know, it was a
I'm only-
mistake, but we're gonna still charge them for these things.
No, this is full disclosure. I'm passing on the information that I got from Vicki and Tim yesterday, that the only two missing part, which we're talking about today, the two missing things that I'm aware of is that we didn't collect the $700 and the $60, which they're gonna pay, that's not an issue. And that this maintenance agreement for plowing and maintaining the roads, we didn't
I don't
have,
know, I'm done
didn't-
looking at it.
we didn't have a copy of that. That's what I was told by Tim and Vicki
Doesn't matter
yesterday.
anymore. I
I
sent out
scheduled a
plenty.
meeting so we could talk about it today. That's my personal opinion. I don't think those are material issues. We know, just gotta let me finish.
I'm like,
We know that he's talked about that multiple times, that he's going to enter into agreement to plow the roads and pay his share. And he will pay the amount, if that's that. But that's why I had the meeting today, so that we don't go through all this on February 4th. And that's where we are as of today. I don't know where the county is with everything. I don't know where they are with the closing on everything. I know there's a lot of moving parts to this. I've never been for or against this deal. I've always said I just think there's a tremendous amount of moving parts to the deal.
so, you said that, both you and Tim just said that the driveway agreement is non-material part of this, it's not,
No, I wanna see it.
no, well, you just said that it's not,
No, but
it's private.
But it's,
You said I'm saying it's private,
it is,
but then why do you wanna see it?
because we had it, they had it in this,
Well, it's part of our,
This is my point though, like, I understand that maybe you as a chair don't feel it was like a material, don't feel it was necessary,
I'm
but
seeing,
I'm also an elected
I know you
official.
are.
And you're
And I
part of the
requested
motion.
it, and I actually seconded the motion.
I'm saying
Let
as,
me finish, please. I've been very patient. I seconded the motion. That was the one thing I've been asking for. Everybody else has been asking for 50 other things. I asked for one thing. That's all I asked for. One thing. So, was it on the February 4th agenda to be brought, to come back?
no, I took it off because we had this meeting.
Was it
Well,
on prior to this meeting?
yeah, well, yes, I put it
Yes, we
on
can
and
talk
then I
about
took it.
So then obviously it was set for us to talk about it again.
no, you're misunderstanding it. I need to interrupt you, you're misunderstanding it. The plat was signed. What I put on the meeting minutes, on the February one, is so we could have this discussion, which we're having now.
Okay,
Vicki thought we'd better to have a special board meeting, which we're having now.
I sent an email on Friday that said that the Zappa thing needs to go on the February agenda. Well, then I found out after I sent that email that there was a meeting Monday at 10 a.m. to sign the thing. And then,
This whole thing could have waited until this February meeting.
didn't need to, so
It
it was
could've-
email on the
it
22nd
could've,
said
though.
it was done.
no, it didn't.
could've.
I did not buy
It
that
could've.
email for 1 second.
It could
Well, I
have, here's
agree, but
why.
it does say it's done.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. The CSM meets the
The
conditions.
CSM.
Oh, yeah.
The CSM, Tim.
Oh, yeah, just
Which we didn't
CSM.
have, so I wanted that on Friday.
I mean, I don't know where to go with all this.
It's
but
not the-
they
with
had-
this.
They've had since November 5th to start working on this and getting all their ducks in a row so that we can sit down and look at it and
Who's
make
they?
sure the county and
Zappa
Zappa
and-
and get us all our documents and we could sit down as a group and sit and I would have done a special meeting and I know it could just you and someone else can do it, but that's
I
irregardless.
don't even blame Zappa, because I guarantee you his hands are
Correct,
full.
I
No,
agree.
so all it would have taken was a special meeting to sit down, just like we did with Hardman Homes where we had to do all that. I mean, it just, we could have sat down as a group, looked at it before the thing was signed and said, nope, This is not, and if they want to threaten us with lawsuits, whatever. You had till November 5th to get all your information into us, and you did not do that. And now you're pushing the deadline, and it could have went to the February meeting, and you guys could have said, too bad, so sad, that's the way it is. You dragged your feet, you didn't do your homework, you should have been working on this and getting it to us in a timely fashion.
I respect your feelings on that. My feelings are, when I started this process in earnest to keep everybody informed, the trigger date for me was really January 7th. Because anything prior to January 7th was moot, my view, if the county board didn't agree to grant a 66-foot easement. The minute that document came across my desk, that's when I set this out and said, what do we need to do? We have this motion that I have in front of me as to what was on here. The 66-foot easement required from River Heights Trail South, which is on the CSM and is referenced in the document that we're not a party to. It's between the county and the Gary Zappa, but it references that.
We didn't have a 66-foot easement. We had a 33-foot easement. So that,
But that's on the CSM. That's just what I said.
it's supposed to be, the CSM says 33.
The CSM that's here says 66.
The one I got on Friday.
That's what I'm saying, the one that I signed.
But you said you already had all this.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I'm saying, let me repeat what I'm saying. I'm responding to Ken's comment that they had from November 5th to do this. And I'm simply saying it was moot if the county didn't agree to granting a 66-foot easement. Tim's motion, which Mary seconded, we wouldn't do it, right?
Right.
I mean, it's the number one thing on here, a 66-foot easement required. If the county doesn't make the resolution and the county in Ellen sticks at 33 feet, I'm not gonna sign the CSM. You wouldn't want me to, that's not part of the motion. I'm just trying to go through this methodically to say, that's what triggered this. They have said repeatedly, hey, we want to close this. They told you guys that, they told me that. I don't know what their extensions are.
I don't care what they're.
Don't care.
Exactly.
It's
Well,
our
you
problem.
know, I will say as an elected official, if the county tells me that this is what they are doing and what they need, I'm going to take them at face value. I have to.
Don, the number 2 says, all items from the October 11th TRT action letter to be completed. That's number 2.
Yeah, on
We
the
still
motion.
don't know if that's true.
It's not true. We don't have it. They're not
That's my
complete.
point, like, I respect what you're saying, I'm not
The
saying,
letter that
I get where you
James
came
had
from.
agreed, we still don't.
Like, you know, I've not, it's not my first go around getting
Right.
people from all entities that coming at me, I get where you came from. What I'm saying is, and I don't know what I would have done Monday morning, I'm not saying
Right.
you knew, okay? I'm just saying, now we're at this point, and there's things that we don't have. And I really think it is crucial for all of us to allow Vicki, like she's always done for Jeff and whomever, to say, yes, we have everything, or no, we don't. If she says no, we don't, then we need to get what Vicki says we need, because guess what? She's the one she's the expert out of all of us who knows what we need, right? So it doesn't matter if you're the chair, it doesn't matter if you're on here, it doesn't matter how many recordings Steve makes, okay? It's, Vicki knows what we need her to do. And I think that's a fair statement.
I think it's a very fair statement.
So I think it's also fair to say that we need to start, as a board, working together and listen to what Vicki is saying we need when it comes to all of these documents. And not say, Vicki told me this, that. She's usually pretty clear as to what we need, it seems like to me, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but to me she is. So if she had said that we didn't have everything, I don't really care what the county says, and I get why you feel like you should trust them. But my job is to protect the town of Hudson residents.
As mine is.
Right, so the county, I don't care what they say because I'm not working for them.
Right.
Vicky is working for the town. Vicky protects the town more than any of us because without her information, we'd be signing off willy-nilly all the time. So the thing is to me, the number one thing should be, if Vicky says we don't have everything, we stop everything in our tracks and figure out what it is we don't have. And if it's something we can say, okay, this is something we can get later, it's, or not.
Okay.
But,
May I say something with respect to
Yeah.
the communication issue? And I'm saying this with no pun intended. I don't want to be a Monday morning quarterback. CSM was signed. I understand and I respect from your comments about Vicky.
Yeah.
I'm saying as a board, I want the same extended to me as the chair. It is unwieldy for me not to be able to contact the chair or the clerk other than through an email. And I've been told from the time that I was elected that the way I contact the clerk, off hours or when she's not working, is through email. We had the situation last summer, this was very quick, with Anakin and his $52,000 letter of credit. I got the emergency call on Thursday that, hey, this is going to be triggered, we're going to lose this if we don't have that. I worked with Vicki then, I worked with Tammy Traxler then. I stayed late because Tammy was there. I'm going to say this publicly. I asked the clerk, do you have a number where I can reach you? No, I don't. I asked this in front of Liz Moline. If there is an issue in the town, if there's a tornado or a spill or a leak, is there a number where I can reach you? No. You could send me an email. I asked the clerk if we all have these same phones, they're all the same. Is it possible for you to take this phone with you? If I need to reach you, could I call you on that? No, you can email me.
You can call on the town cell phone.
And I called Friday on the town's cell phone, and Vicki, you told me that you don't answer that because it's a Friday. Now, I'm just saying this. This is, I want to have a better working relationship with all of us.
So now I'm on call 24/7, not gonna happen.
You're not on call 24/7.
No,
No, I'm just gonna finish my comments. I had no idea that Vicki was working on Friday. Maybe she sent a note that you didn't see. Now I find out she's gonna be here through election time. I'm here to support Vicki. But I will say on Monday, Vicki knew that I was here to sign the plat. I asked how you were feeling. If you would have said anything, and I came back in yesterday and met with Vicki, and I will say this publicly, and I apologized to Vicki because I said, if you had said anything, you didn't say anything with respect to I want to see this plat, I want to see this, I want to be part of that, until after the meeting. So with that,
you didn't even invite me to the meeting. Well, it doesn't matter, if you're signing off on something, Jeff Johnson and Bob Waxon, if somebody needed something signed, they would have called and asked, do you have all the documents I need? We have never had a CSM that is this, seriously.
I don't know if this just sounds like a deflection to Vicki.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it's my fault,
because of the way that you guys handle things, and you're trying to make it all look good now, like you thought it was. Just cut it.
hey,
You're putting the blame on
listen,
me, you're putting deflection on our clerk because of things that went wrong with your guys' process. This could have been handled a complete different way once again, but it wasn't. This was handled the way you guys want to handle it, and that's the way you went with it, and At this point, I put in a request for an attorney, and even that's getting deflected. I would have, even before all this, even before you guys made your decision, even before you signed it, I would have said, I can't look at this anymore. I have to have a professional, I have to have our attorney look at it, and just go over it. And I would have been fine with that. If our attorney would have been back and said, yeah, it looks pretty good, they don't have this, maybe they get, I would have been really just fine with that, I'm serious. But it's just, it doesn't look good in my eyes, the way it went down. And I know you have the authorization to sign it, but when all the stuff wasn't there, we're still not seeing everything, we're not seeing official maps. I mean, I would have had the attorney look at this. It's just me, I'm representing taxpayers too, and I want to make sure everything's done correctly, the right way. I want to work with everybody, but when stuff like this is happening, it makes it really difficult. That's all I'm going to say. I'm disappointed that this is the way it went down. I really am. I just am. With all the, as you say, moving parts that this has, this should have been a group decision. And if anything, to help you make that decision. At least you could have had my backing that.
I agree.
But I don't want to
wait till you're done.
I don't want to start deflecting on Vicky because Vicky's not answering her phone. That's not why we're here today.
My comment is not deflection on Vicky. I'm trying to explain how this meeting transpired on Monday. But I am saying if I don't have a way to reach people, we lost a week from this, with Tuesday night to tonight. So, Tim, do you have any other comments?
No, we didn't, because I did all the work on Friday, and I sent out everything on Friday that said, we don't have it. There was a lot of emails on Friday.
Yeah.
Because and the more I got into it, the more confused I even got, because you can tell by the last time I sent the email, I'm like, whatever, I don't know.
How we want to accomplish this.
Can I just read one more thing? And Dan's not here, and I know I don't want to speak for Dan, but Dan's email was, I am on vacation to go this week, so I am unable to attend. I believe this was approved with 2 contingencies, which was more actually, but is the town attorney unable to verify the document's authenticity and compliance? I mean, even Dan is like, the attorney could have been involved. I'm sorry, yeah, we gotta spend that money, but at least we know it's done right then. I don't want to call the attorney on every single thing, but to me, something like this is a place where you use the attorney.
Just Jim wants to say something, and then we're.
Go ahead, I'm done.
We don't have approval for the TRT letter. I think we need to, I don't care how we want to do it. Whether Vicky calls Ellen Denzer, Don does, we send a letter requesting it, how we want to handle it. But we want a copy from the county. And that always comes, doesn't it?
Yes,
From
absolutely.
Sarah Burnell that says all of the issues in the TRT letter have been resolved. We asked for that. And I can just about guarantee you without knowing, Ellen wasn't allowing Sarah and Tammy to work on it.
Well, had I gotten documents from Ellen Denzer myself, instead of they being emailed, you know, we're not supposed to use email, but you get an email from Ellen and then you forward it and say, forward this to the board members. I mean, usually when I get this stuff, when I start getting them, I mean, the files get big for a reason. Because I start tracking what I need.
But the point is, I still want that.
Oh,
Even though he signed it, we need to get a hold of the county, not only number 4, but we need to have a complete, not just that from Sarah that the CSM is correct. She just answered John's question.
Correct, but Ellen used that as being...
No, and so we need to let Ellen know that Sarah and Tammy have to read this TRT letter from October.
What does it
11th.
matter anymore?
It
It
doesn't.
does.
No, it doesn't.
I want
On
to know
principle?
it's- Yes.
Who cares?
No, because we don't want Ellen doing this to again.
Well,
And I think that Thompson should get a copy of that letter.
It's already signed off on.
Human resources, man.
It's already signed off on. You don't want Ellen to do this again? Someone needs to get Ellen out of there because she's,
That's why I
because of her,
said
half
it
the damn
needs
place
to
is
go
quit.
to the human resources man, Mr. Thompson.
It doesn't matter anymore, which is which is to me what the most
But we still
frustrating
don't
part
have
was.
anything here.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. For 3 months I asked for one thing and it's not there. So who cares? That's what I'm being told. Who cares?
Gary said that he's gotten it, he agreed to do that, but apparently, my gut feel is, the way Gary said that, there's nothing in black and white on paper. It's just that he met with the people and discussed it, and he agreed to it. But boy, that makes me real nervous, because that doesn't lock him into paying for it if they get into it on a private road with the cost of plowing and maintenance.
Well, there's no agreement for the blacktopping either.
Because he didn't want to do the blacktopping. But we were
Well,
supposed to get a letter from him.
That was
saying-
one of our major things.
Yeah, that was
to
one of
get
the, that was another,
What do you mean there isn't any agreement with
He-
it?
well,
Yes, there
Peter
is,
doesn't
within
want-
18 months.
And they're gonna come
Peter
back.
doesn't
There
want it
is.
though. Peter doesn't.
just our motion, but we don't have anything, so what do we do if,
Well, let me read the motion, so we're not talking past it.
Needs to be blacktop within 18 months.
Right.
In the future, at the request of Capater or future Capater property owner and the owner of lot 26, that would be Gary, if they want the driveway left gravel, they would need to come back to the town board for any approvals.
but built as a private road,
Yeah, well, number
paved to
number
driveway
three says
standards within 18
built as a
months.
private road from River Heights Trail and paved to driveway standards within 18 months. Pencils have erasers for a reason. I'm trying to be a good steward. It's Tim's motion. I'm doing no deflecting. This stuff came in. If we want to send a letter to who do you want to send it to?
I think it goes to Ellen.
I don't think it matters anymore.
I don't think it matters anymore.
I think I spent
I think
hours
we're-
and hours at town board meetings.
I think we're done with it. I mean,
So you're not concerned about the driveway agreement anymore?
What?
Well, we're gonna get
The River
that.
Heights, well,
Well, you guys, it was just, I just got done listening to the fact that it's not a crucial part of the thing anyway, so who cares? But both of you guys say it's private. Why do I give a crap anymore? I mean, I don't. It's like 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever many hours we've all spent on this between reading emails and coming to town board meetings and,
but
you know.
yet Vicky's saying it's not complete, right?
right, but Vicky said that before. And Don felt pressured, which again, I get. I'm not
an
saying,
open book.
I get that you felt pressured. However, it shouldn't have been signed because we didn't have everything. But Ellen, there's no doubt in my mind, manipulated the situation.
I'm trying to find a compromise as to where we are today. I personally see no problem with Gary providing that driveway agreement. And then Vicki will have what she requested, so we all will. And the $700 and the $60.
But we still don't have everything, because we still don't have the letter, the TRT letters showing everything's complete, which is part of the motion.
That was why I
I
said.
mean, that was the number 2.
That's why I wanted to send a letter that says it,
Well then, Tim, I mean, I'm not putting this on you, I'm just saying because I rely on you. It was your motion, it was Mary's second. It was all the concerns that you had from day one. Is that something that you can follow up on and write a note or write with Vicki what you want?
I'll stop and talk to Ellen if you're right. I will,
Well, Pat Thompson needs to be notified.
I will,
You're gonna go out there?
yes, I will.
Okay, and is there any other items that we need to pass on?
I don't know, I need to see the TRT letter. I mean, that's,
I'm just asking this in generalities, and this isn't
And that was-
conflict.
And that was Dan's, who's not present. I mean, motion by Foster and second by Liller, request Zappa and Ellen Benser provide a statement of opinion. Well, we got that from the corporate council.
We have
I
that.
did
With
get that from
Item number 7 of the TRT action letter.
which
We have that.
corporate council.
So,
And again, it's all back to the TRT letter. You know, every time we turned around, it was, and normally, that's before the chair signs off on anything. We get that stuff from Sarah Burrell
So
back.
then why did John,
Because he believed Ellen over me.
He believed Ellen.
That's why.
He did believe it.
You could characterize it that way. My position is that we asked through the clerk, what else do we need through our clerk? And this kept coming in and coming in. Here's the letter, here's this, here's the note from.
I never got any of that until you got it, and then you put it all in an email and sent it to us or whatever. That's part of the problem as well. Otherwise,
Well,
I mean,
no, I'm saying as the stuff came in, you got it. You got the motion from the county, you got the letter from the court counsel. So all I'm using the phrase Monday morning quarterback. I understand all the conversations and I'm in agreement with them that, you know, if we lived in a perfect world, we had staff and we had everything, that's fine. I relied on what was coming in the door and said, hey, these items are done. You know, the map came in. The letter came in from the court counsel. The note with Sarah Burrell's name came in on it.
no,
you didn't read the note though.
The second thing on the motion wasn't in the number 2 thing.
Just because
It's
Ellen
not like there was
said
20
it.
things on the motion.
Yeah, don't, I mean,
So what would we like to do today?
So I don't think there's really anything we can do, but if we're trying to
It doesn't-
create a situation where we can work together and be inclusive with everybody. And, I mean, the email's just not that. The email is just a communication thing. And it's not, I just think that it would have been a better deal if everybody had been included in this with how large of this, how big it is, to all the documents. And I really honestly wouldn't have expected you to sit down and go through every single one. I would have rather been there helping you or had him help, you know, have us here to make sure it's right and make sure it's done 100%. And and I'm with Mary. If the county is not happy about that, it's too bad. It's not my problem. They're the ones that drag their feet for 2 months. I guess all I'm looking for is some kind of we have to work together.
I agree.
And I know it, all I'm looking from you is, yeah, I maybe did not do the right things. I hope we can work together in the future, I guess. I mean, we have to work together on this stuff.
I think from this point forward, we shouldn't sign off on anything.
what's my big complaint? Please do not make any motions based on contingencies.
But we have a board meeting coming up on Tuesday. Maybe that's a good place to start with our new plans.
I have begged you guys, no, just don't approve it. Well, let's just do a contingent. Let's. You guys love that word.
And this is where the problem falls.
And that's part
In
of the,
normal situations with contingency, you do have people,
That you can
like,
trust.
no, just checks and balances, enough people for checks and balances in place depending on what the subject matter is. We have,
I would have rather had 12 sets of eyes on it. You just me. I mean, and I'm just saying that because I know you have a lot to do, and I know you're busy, and I know you do a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of pressure on you to get these things done. But I just think it would, with this particular one, not like the Hartman one, not these small, this one, I think it would have been really helpful to you if we could have just all met together. And I would have done a special meeting on a Monday morning.
It's probably going to be what we'll have to do.
I mean,
well, it's kind of like Crane Hill. Crane Hill, we had lots of meetings,
still a mess.
you
I
know?
guess it's a learning experience for everybody.
Any other plat or whatever, it's been not a big deal. And Jeff would call me, the only thing that's ever been a big deal are the fees paid. Do we have the letter of credit? Well, that wasn't what this was signing off on. I mean, this was adding a 2-lot CSM that was more work than 100 plats put together.
Right, it was.
If I got here today and I knew that wasn't recorded, I'd say, well, then, and then let's
Yeah,
all
that
sit down
sucks
and
that
look at
it's
it.
recorded.
So,
Oh, he recorded it. He left here and went straight to the county and recorded it.
So
So how do you get that recorded without the village president saying?
Tim, do you need me with your meetings with Ellen, or is that you just want to visit with her directly?
It's a
I'm not even
CSM.
going to start with Ellen. I'm going straight to Thompson the more I think about it. Because what she's doing to us is bullshit, and it's pointedly that. And I know he's had other people talk to him about getting Ellen fired. And so, no, just so you know, that's the direction I'm going, because this is bullshit. Either she does her job in the future with TRT letters, we can't rely on her holding back and not letting that happen. He has to do his job as an HR director. If he's got a staff member that's a manager that isn't allowing that work to be done. Now, he will leave from our discussion and go make sure that Ellen gets this damn letter reviewed, because it's in failure right now. It had to be complete before 90 days.
Correct.
And
Correct.
it wasn't.
Correct.
On that part,
It's
I guess,
like
yeah,
EMS.
get that letter.
You know what I mean? I want that letter to make it a valid point that she understands that you can't do this to us as municipal people.
Then I would just say this for
And
today.
I don't
I would
need to
just say
have
this
it.
for today. If you don't need me there as the chair.
I agree, and I don't.
Full disclosure, I signed the plan, it's recorded, I signed it based on.
And I agree with Mary and Ken, there's nothing we can really do about it, other than I want to make an issue with that, the Human Resources Director, that
I would
we can't have her doing this to us in the future. And I still want this
I would
done.
only ask, because she's an employee, as Vicky's an employee and everything else, do it judiciously, I don't
I
know how
will.
else to say
I
it.
will.
Because I don't want to, I'm saying this as
I
the chair.
won't get excited when I'm doing it.
I don't want us, I want to work together as a board. This is my summary statement. I want to work together as a board. I want to work together with other municipalities and the county. And if it gets to, everybody gets hackles up or lawyered up, for lack of a better term, I just don't want us to go there.
It's time for an engineer, that's all I'm saying.
Well, that's the next.
It's time for an
That's-
engineer.
Now,
We're way beyond our
Can we
scope
shift-
here.
Can we shift the discussion, because this is
I would
duly
love to
noticed.
discuss that quickly.
You can go first, or I can.
I just think that we should have engineer, some
Hey,
firm
Paul.
on retainer.
It's looking good there, Paul.
Doesn't cost us anything. You got my form for me? Perfect.
You know, I'm in complete agreement on that. I think, you know, Warren had, it doesn't, we don't have to have examples, other towns have that. I think there should be a buffer, professional buffer there. We're not staffed up to be doing this.
I really think when it comes to stormwaters and driveways, it'd be nice to just have someone to be able to look at something that the county's presenting us to make sure that it's the right way that things are to be done.
Tim, what are your thoughts on that? Even initially, or your initial thoughts on it?
I had agreed with Jeff for years when we resisted that. And the reason was,
Thanks for bringing that out.
in all the years that Jeff resisted it, I agreed with him because we had people at the county we could trust. We didn't need to have an engineering firm review it. And everything that Ken brought up, the county did a good job doing that. And now I get nervous when it isn't being done by the county, that we're assured that it's done. You know what I mean?
Well, we're
And-
taking our
and so
roads,
I'm-
we're taking
I'm
responsibility
leaning
for
that
our
now
roads.
more than ever
with that.
before, that we probably can. The only question I have is, do you hire an engineering firm to look at a CSM?
Yep,
Oh, I think so.
absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't cost us any money, you get the money from the developer,
And
and
a lot of these engineering firms around here work with each entity anyway, so.
I think we
they
should
don't
call
have-
Cedar,
they
I
don't
think
know.
I think we should call Cedar Corp, because they do North Hudson, they do Troy, so they know St. Croix County, they know the area,
They throw a lot of buzzwords around, but I support that. It's best practices where they do this every day.
correct.
And they have a system in place to go, where is this?
Well, and here's the
Or why don't
deal.
you have that?
Then there's big deadlines too, because then I have to get it to them, otherwise it's not getting on the agenda.
And they're gonna tell us not to proceed.
Don't put it on the agenda till you have everything you
And
need.
it's not, and it would hopefully prevent some of this
Correct.
internal
Correct. It will.
confusion, I will say.
It will.
Well, we shouldn't have to spend 45 minutes at a board meeting discussing it. The engineering firm's gonna give you a thing and say, and then you make a motion and you approve it.
And coming from an engineering firm, I'm gonna take that way more. I mean, I'm gonna put a lot of weight on it.
You gotta remember that the people that are presenting are not representing us, they're representing someone else. So they're not looking out for us.
And they're gonna try to do what they can to get these things
Correct.
passed and signed.
I mean, look at the last CSMs that came in.
And
with
this,
the-
and this one,
Road's not
seriously,
even
my
going.
head was spinning with it. There was so much coming through, and Ellen and Sarah, and
Do we want to try and add that to the, I guess we can add anything to the agenda. Do we want to discuss that at the February meeting, or should I put it on for the March meeting, or what?
I'm not gonna be at the February meeting, however, I fully agree with an engineering firm. I think it's the only way to go, simply for a few reasons. One, we don't pay for it. Two, we can say we can't, their engineering firm's gonna tell us not to put on the agenda. It's not Vicky or you or whomever is the chair 20 years from now, or whatever, tell them, not to put it on the agenda. The responsibility falls on the engineering firm to tell us whether or not we're going or we're not.
Right.
And with our town now, there's nowhere to develop anymore. So there's just gonna be more and more people trying to come out here and start developing, and I think it's important to protect.
Well, and everything that's left is difficult.
Right.
Well, yeah,
That's true.
I completely
It's
agree
not,
that the
it's
low
not,
hanging fruit is.
wait till they come out to develop the land by Bethel.
well, what about the stuff right here by Norlick?
Yeah,
Well, I don't want to discuss it too far today. I'll put it on the agenda. I can put it on the March agenda too, but
Well, we
think-
can
I don't
start,
think it's gonna fail
I-
with
I-
my
I
vote.
we can
think-
start getting some information
Okay.
together then, so that we have it
Please put it on the February,
March agenda.
could it still go on for next Tuesday?
No,
What do you,
because then
what do you
I'm,
want to discuss? Why don't we just get a hold of some firms and have a couple?
so that we know what we're talking about first,
Yeah.
so we can do it for the
Let's
March
put it on the
agenda.
March. Okay, who's gonna Vicky, will you get some background information then, or who's gonna be responsible for information gathering?
I can call, I'll find out.
Thank you.
Are you just gonna call one more and call Stevens and stuff too to see, get bids?
Well, I can call, yeah, I'll have to call, I'm gonna call the attorney first.
There's so many.
One- I just want to be, well, I don't want to use, that's my big beef, and you guys will have to decide, but I don't want to use ACA and SEH because they work for them,
Hello.
and then pretty soon, then it causes all kinds of, I want to like heirs or like Cedar Corp, who doesn't do that for,
Yeah,
they only work for the,
yeah, you can't, there's too much
Otherwise-
conflict.
right.
The question I have though is state law require us to
Put it
well,
up.
we don't have to worry about bids because we're not the ones paying. I was gonna
I
say,
don't know,
state-
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
ask the attorney.
look, if we have to look at like 3 different,
Right.
How does it work? Who pays the people?
The developer has to give us money, they have to give us money that we put in escrow, and then,
How does that get paid? Do we estimate the cost with the insurance?
yeah, they'll tell us how much we need to put, I don't
They'll
know,
say
North
they-
Hudson takes so much,
they
like
charge-
10,000 for a plat and X amount for
Yeah.
whatever, and,
or they charge X
and when
amount
the
for
money's
this.
gone, until you give them more money, we're not working on your plat anymore, or then they get the money back, or whatever it is.
I really think it's a good buffer. It would really prevent a lot of headaches for
I think that-
everybody.
I think there might be a side benefit to that too, that, if Tim is hit by a bus or one of us are, we have our checklist that we put together, as to what
Why'd you
we
pick
do.
10?
Well, because I'm saying if we make these motions, my point is,
I'm joking with you.
I know, I just don't want to discuss it too
Because I
far.
won't buy the bus garage.
I don't want to discuss it too far today, but I'm saying,
Are you sure you're bondable? Because you can get hit by a bus going home now.
my point I'm trying to make is I think an engineering firm would help bring a support to us and a discipline as we make motions that we have
Yeah, it'd make
consistent
my life a whole lot
motions
easier.
as to what we're doing, so they don't
We
kind of
never did
become
anything
ad
with
hoc as,
We never did anything in the city without.
Well, yeah, because the city just said, yep, it's approved because the engineer did all the work. That's the way it's supposed to be, because the professional does it, not
And
just.
then, but then people still complain, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
anything else we're gonna, Tim, you'll get back to us then
Yes,
after
I
the
will.
meeting, then Vicky, you'll let us know,
I will let you know.
and Vicky will let us know on the information you're gathering from the insurance, or from the engineering firms?
Well, I'm gonna talk to the attorney first and see what I need to do.
Okay. Will you guys keep me posted on that? I mean, you and the attorney, so I know.
So no motions at all?
Just to adjourn.
Yes.
Do I hear a second to that?
All right, got it.
Thank
Gotta
you.
get my son to school.